You guys are back in the old school. Hey guys, I'm the Retro Reject, and boy howdy has it been a long time since I did another one of these cartoon synopsises. And I guess as a build-up to the Lion King 2 movie review I'll be doing, I might as well do something Lion King related. Now, even though this cartoon I'm about to give a synopsis on isn't technically a cartoon I watched as a child, I feel like if it is sort of about the Lion King, I feel like it's just too good to pass up, and considering how much I feel like I talk about Lion King and think about it, I'm just beginning to start to think I should just buy a shirt relating to the Lion King. Of course, it would probably have to have Nala on it.
Wait a minute, Retro Reject. Wasn't the whole point of these cartoon synopsises were to explain TV shows that you remember from your childhood?
Yes, that may be true, reaction of me pretending to be the audience, but remember I did do a cartoon synopsis on the Ultraman anime, and of course that was not a show from my childhood, it was fairly recent. Hey, quick question, guys. My next cartoon synopsis is actually going to be a show that was from my childhood, but I'm asking you guys, should I explain the cartoon, or should I just reenact the cartoon? Because I feel like I could have a lot more fun with reenacting it. But anyway, today's cartoon synopsis is on basically something related to the Lion King, but has no relation to Disney whatsoever. In fact, I feel like you could call this a ripoff to the Lion King. But no, not that ripoff. This cartoon is called Simba the King Lion, and of course you can obviously tell from the title, it sounds like a ripoff. Which kind of makes sense when you realize that this cartoon was created by the Italians, and back in the day, the Italians were very well known for basically taking very popular American movies and cartoons and basically just making knockoffs of them. And of course, after the success of The Lion King, they decided to make this 72-episode basically ripoff of The Lion King. But I really can't be sure to say it's an exact ripoff because, yes, it takes certain story elements from The Lion King, but it almost is like its own original story. Because essentially what they did was that they took the story of the Lion King, but then they hodgepodged it with the Jungle Book and Bambi, ending up in a pretty weird cartoon. Okay, well, I'm just gonna get this out of the way right now. I have to say, this is a pretty decent cartoon. In fact, if I was like 7 years old and I watched this cartoon and had no knowledge about The Lion King or even watched it, I would have probably enjoyed this cartoon. But then again, I would have probably ended up a completely different person. But anyway, what I'm trying to say is that even though I said it's a weird cartoon, it doesn't mean it's bad. There's a difference between a bad cartoon and a weird cartoon. A bad cartoon is like the numerous number of failed Nickelodeon and Cartoon Network TV shows, like Who Remembers Planet Sheen, or Harvey Beaks, or Pig Goat Banana Cricket. Those kind of shows. Shows that you know are so bad, or even when you see commercials for them, you're like, yeah, no, I'm not interested in watching that. And a weird cartoon is something that could just like range from that people would say it's okay to like people saying it's actually great, but it has so many moments within it that make you just say, what is going on? An example of that is like the Ren and Stimpy show. It's a very good cartoon, it's just, it has so many weird elements into it. And that goes for Simba the King Lion. It's a weird cartoon. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to basically give you guys a general rundown of the story, and then afterwards I'm going to just explain each character, like not in the full detail, but like at least give you like a simple explanation of how they differ from their real life counterparts, if they have any differences, that is. So, kind of like in the original Lion King, it kind of follows the story very well, except it only starts out at the point where the rip-off Mufasa dies, and that's due to poachers, unlike the real Mufasa in The Lion King, where he was killed by Scar. Because the main antagonist of this cartoon is Shere Khan, the tiger, because, like I said, it's a basic hodgepodge of The Lion King, The Jungle Book, and Bambi at the same time. because the Shere Khan lured Ripoff Mufasa into this area where like poachers were well known for hunting, and of course that killed Ripoff Mufasa. And another thing I like about this cartoon is that they actually explain like what happened to Ripoff Simba's mother, because like in the original Lion King, Sarabi is of course Simba's mother, and after Lion King 1, we don't know what happened to her. We don't know, they were not given any explanation, but in this cartoon, they explain is that Shere Khan killed her, like, shortly before Ripoff Mufasa died. So, yeah, that's something I actually kind of like about this cartoon. I mean, yeah, it's very dark, but anyway, what happens afterwards is that Ripoff Simba basically goes off to live with the characters from the Jungle Book in the jungle, and along the way he befriends like each Jungle Book character, and he also befriends a young deer who sounds very similar to Bambi, except that it's also revealed that both his parents were killed by poachers. So yeah, and then he befriends like this dog, and then a canary, and then like 2 rats. Yeah, it's a lot of stuff to take in. And it's just, it kind of focuses a lot around him growing up in the jungle. And meanwhile, back in the Ripoff Pride Lands, technically the Scar character, he's really not given much character. All he is just a Ripoff Scar, but he doesn't have like any menace to him. Like, all he is just he was the next lion in line for the throne other than Simba. And I guess he made an arrangement with Shere Khan to kill Mufasa so that he could become king, and basically Shere Khan would become the like apex predator of the jungle and be like the most feared and all that. So, and another thing I like about this ripoff Simba, even though of course real Simba is more superior, is that real Simba actually makes the choice himself to go back to the fake Pride Lands to actually take on his uncle to become king, unlike in the real Lion King where Nala has to try to convince Simba to come back. So anyway, of course, the first, like, I don't know, 15 episodes or so, that focuses on just more him growing up in the jungle, and then afterwards, it just focuses on the journey back. And of course, some of the Jungle Book characters join Simba on this adventure to go back and take his place as king. And along the adventure, Ripoff Simba meets his love interest, which is a Ripoff Nala. And then they go back to the Pride Lands, he wins against Scar, and then he takes his revenge on Shere Khan because he basically killed his father and his mother. So, yeah. But there kind of is something I like about this cartoon, is that they actually show like a little bit what happens afterwards Simba becomes king, because they show like all the Jungle Book characters, they go back to the jungle where they grew up, and then the deer that Ripoff Simba befriended, he goes and rules his own area with his queen, and then Ripoff Simba and Ripoff Nala, they rule their own kingdom, basically their fake Pride Lands, and they actually predicted probably long before Lion Guard that Simba would have a son, but of course that's also debatable because Lion King, there might have been Copa, and because Ripoff Simba and Ripoff Nala, they have a son and a daughter, so I really don't know if they exactly predicted that Simba would have a daughter, because this cartoon ranged from 1996 to 1997, so I can't remember when Lion King 2 Simba's Pride came out, but yeah, basically that's what happens. And like I said, it is a very weird cartoon. But like I said before, a weird cartoon doesn't necessarily mean it's bad. I mean, I range this cartoon on that. It's decent. I mean, it's not great, but it's not terrible. I mean, it tells an original story. I mean, well, as much as an original story from things that are basically they're ripping off. But if this cartoon was made by Disney, it would just basically be about Simba growing up in the jungle and also his adventure on the way back, instead of that little short montage of Simba running through the desert. So yeah, I mean, that's the basic synopsis of the story, and I think I said it before, but pretty much all the episodes are available on YouTube, so in English, so yeah, go ahead and give it a watch. I enjoyed it. So now, on to the characters. Alright, so the first character I'm going to explain is Simba, And of course, it's not the real Simba, it's Ripoff Simba. And I guess the best way to describe him as is that he's just the beta form of real Simba. He has all the same qualities as him, but since we're not really given that much of backstory to him because the cartoon just automatically begins on the point where the fake Mufasa dies. So yeah, we're not really given much backstory, and we skip pretty much all the probably first half of the Lion King. So, and just throughout the adventure, his personality is shown a little bit more. Like I said, he pretty much has all the same qualities as Simba, but just they're not as prevalent or outstanding. And it's kind of weird because he's more focused on revenge because he knows that Shere Khan killed Mufasa and his mother. So yeah, he's more out for revenge. The next character is essentially the ripoff Nala, and her name is Farna. Now, unlike ripoff Simba, Farna has no qualities in comparison to Nala, because she was just introduced while ripoff Simba was on his way back to the Pride Lands, the fake Pride Lands to be exact, and it's just like when they met each other, it's like, oh yeah, I guess you're my love interest. So yeah, she's not really that much developed in personality.
Okay, well now that's just stupid. Why would they ruin my character personality? Again.
I know, right? And also, if you don't believe me with the fact by me saying that this is a weird cartoon, some of the moments between Ripoff Simba and Farna blatantly show the weirdness. Like, the people who made this cartoon want to make you believe that this is how lions kiss each other in real life. And they also share a moment where they basically run up a waterfall and chase each other in the sky. The next character is Buckshot, who's basically the ripoff of Bambi. Wait a minute. This deer's name is Buckshot. Okay, his parents were just destined to be shot by poachers. And then there are all the characters that basically have no differences between their counterparts. I mean, there are the original characters like Canary, who's literally just a canary who likes singing. And then there's Winner, who's the dog, who just likes playing sports a lot. And then there's Bagheera, who's of course Bagheera from the Jungle Book, except he's not a black leopard this time, he's just a regular normal leopard. And I want to get this out of the way. Wait, there are no such things as Black Panthers. They're just leopards who are basically albino, but the other way around. And then there's Baloo, who's just Baloo from the Jungle Book. And then there's Kaa, who's just Kaa from the Jungle Book, except he's not evil this time. And then there's Thin and XL. Can you tell which one's which? And they're essentially just the rats from Cinderella, except they're pirates this time. Or should I say, pirates? And then there's these group of wild boars. I think they refer to themselves as like commandos, but I can't remember their full name. But anyway, they first ally with Shere Khan, but then towards the end of the cartoon series, they're now in allegiance with Ripoff Simba and Farna. And the leader of this group, I think he's just basically Pumbaa from The Lion King combined with the Green Army Commander from Toy Story, and then Tyrant.
Did I hear somebody call my name? Wow, it has been a long time since I appeared in one of these. Oh, it's so good to be back.
Good, I hope you enjoyed that cameo, because I have no idea when I'm going to put you in another Titanosaurus Mechagodzilla adventure. The next character is Shere Khan, who is basically the main villain of this cartoon, and yeah, he's pretty much just the same thing as the Jungle Book Shere Khan, except that he's more focused on wanting to be the person who has the most power in the jungle. And the right-hand man to Shere Khan is Kurdy, who is essentially Ed the hyena from the first Lion King, except that he's not that stupid. In fact, he's like the Starscream to Shere Khan's Megatron, basically. And so there's my cartoon synopsis on Simba the King Lion. It's a fairly decent cartoon, and I feel like this is a good build-up to Lion King 2 Simba's Pride, the movie review I'll be doing sometime, and either next week or who knows when. But anyway, yeah, it's a fairly decent cartoon, and it tells somewhat of an original story, at least as much of an original story as trying to rip off from other stuff. But anyway, even if you don't get enjoyment out of like the story itself, I feel like you could get enjoyment out of just the weirdness of this cartoon. In fact, it's probably one of those cartoons which you would probably make a drinking game off of. But danger, danger, warning, Will Robinson, danger! You must be 21 to drink alcohol, so do not drink alcohol if you are under 21 years old. So, yeah, anyway, this has been the Cartoon Synopsis. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, whatever the heck you want to do. And also maybe hit that little bell icon to get notified when the old school is back in session. And until next time, the old school is out!